Have you seen that viral game go around where you see where people are trying to guess these rhyming words and they have to say it before the time ends? I've seen a video about Duke Dennis saying it, as well as Rakai.
Son, good.
Say the letter word on beat. A-U.
And it's actually a pretty hard game, but nobody has actually made it a playable game. It's just a video. Well, at least until today. I'm gonna be testing Gemini 3 in Claude 4.5 Opus to see if I can recreate that viral TikTok game called Say the Name on the Beat. Getting started, I'm gonna be using, well, anti-gravity, which is Gemini's latest and greatest way to code anything. And the best thing about this is that, well, Gemini 3 in Claude 4.5 Opus, as well as some other models as you can see here, are already included into the model. Now, I'm gonna be prompting with Gemini 3 first with anti-gravity, but this is a pro tip, don't tell anybody. When you're using Gemini or any other AI model and you wanna type in a prompt, what you should really do is use ChatGPT, DeepSeek, or some other AI first. Type in the simple prompt and ask them to give you a detailed prompt back. So it will take your simple prompt and make a very detailed prompt. And that's what I did with ChatGPT. I put in a whole bunch of pictures of the game, gave it extra context about what I want, the timing mechanic and everything. And it spit out this very long prompt, something I wasn't gonna write down. And I put it into anti-gravity for Gemini 3. And Gemini 3 took it like a champ. It came up with the implementation plan and everything. And it thought for a little less than a few minutes, and it gave me something that looked very promising. But with AI, it was never a one-shot, one-kill type of thing. It still took a lot more time. One of the issues that they had was when I tried to play this game, even though it looked pretty good, it kept on asking me for my microphone permission. Usually it does it once when you're on a website, but this time it kept on asking me every time to the point it wasn't even playable. So I had to prompt Gemini 3 with anti-gravity to give me a game that only asks for the microphone permission once and understands that we have permission now. Once that was out the way, it looked very promising. The game was actually highlighting different shapes and squares and everything, but it wasn't quite there yet. Once I was trying to guess it and everything, the audio wasn't picking up what I was saying. So every time I guessed a square, a color, it was completely wrong. And that's okay, but doesn't make the game playable. It looks like a cool demo, but it wasn't playable. So I asked Gemini 3, hey, can you fix it so that you're able to understand what I'm saying? They fixed it, and now it was picking up certain words. As you see here, it had issues with words that sound alike when it comes to different colors. Where when I put purple for the purple square, it only registered that I said couple. And I was like, no, these are only squares that are colors. I'm only doing I fix this so it has a better speech detection, so it knows what colors I'm actually saying, so it won't get me tripped up on this anymore. Simple fix, you would think, right? Well, it kind of took me a few times to do this, but all in all, it's less than 10 minutes to get past this with Gemini 3. Next step was, once I was guessing the colors for the squares and the time limit, it seemed very promising, but another issue came up. It seemed like I was able to guess the colors correctly or incorrectly, but it was a timing issue where basically I would guess the colors using the microphone, but it would not be able to pick up what I said in the time limit. So when I spoke to the microphone, it translated what I said to text way later than the game, so I always lost. It took me a long time to figure that out, and so I had to keep prompting it to figure out what was the issue, to the point I just basically asked it, hey, can you print out what I'm saying so I can see it for myself? And that's how I found out that it was a timing issue, where I was actually guessing the correct colors, but it just wasn't registering in the time frame. So I asked it, hey, can you fix this so that the game has a lag time between when the game is officially over as far as counting the words and when it counts the actual words that I say for the colors. And boom, voila, it was fixed.
Pink, yellow, green, purple, red, blue, orange.
And it seemed like it was a very playable game. As you even see there, I was able to guess the colors. It was saying it on time, but one of the issues was that it didn't have a countdown. How do I know when to start if there's no countdown for the freaking game? I'm always just jumping into it randomly when the game starts. And so I had to add a countdown timer, just like you've seen in the viral game where it has the countdown timer, but the person is saying it in some type of Japanese or Asian sounding language. For me, I just put a regular countdown on it to see how it worked, and it was okay. Actually, it wasn't. It actually was struggling because when I added the countdown timer, it would totally wipe out the entire game screen, making it unable to play or unable to even see anything because the countdown timer is so huge. It took me a few iterations going back and forth with anti-gravity and Gemini 3 to actually fix this, to the point where I actually hit the rate limit for anti-gravity. Because if you know, these Gemini 3 models, anti-gravity and Claude 4.5 is not free. So if you want to support the channel, it'll be great if you actually hype up the channel or subscribe, because that would definitely help me go further and be able to collect a little bit more money to pay for these expensive AI apps. So I had to wait the next day to get more credits to use Gemini 3, and basically that's when I pretty much finished up the app, and it was pretty good. But how is it going to be compared to 4.5 Opus, which is everybody is saying is the best coding model? But let's give a little demo of what the Gemini 3 app actually produced.
Pink, yellow, green, purple, red, blue, orange. Black, red. Orange, red, pink, green, black, blue, yellow.
As you've seen there, it was actually pretty good. And the timer and everything down pat, where I was actually able to wait for the countdown timer to get done with the countdown and then guess the colors, and it counted all of them, just like you saw with the viral freaking TikTok game. But it didn't just stop there. I wanted to see, could Claude 4.5 Opus do better than Gemini 3? And just like I did with Gemini 3, I had another AI prompt, Gemini 4.5 Opus. So basically what I did was I had Gemini 3 taking everything it did, all the notes I actually in detail, to then give it a prompt that I can give to another AI to recreate this game. But instead of doing the one that we just did for colors, let's do a number-based game. So instead of doing green, blue, yellow, orange, we could do 1, 7, 5, 8. So give a little bit of a twist and see how far Claude 4.5 Opus does. And in one shot with Claude 4.5 Opus, it went pretty far. Claude 4.5 Opus is known as the best coding AI out there, but who knows? Every AI says it's the best one for everything. But with one shot with Claude 4.5, it went pretty far. Not only did it have the countdown timer, it had a little box at the bottom that recorded what you actually said. And that was a cool feature, but it was still a similar issue we had with Gemini, where Gemini 3 had a timing issue, and the same issue seemed like it was the same with Claude 4.5. But since I used Gemini already, I knew what the issue was. So I prompted Claude 4.5 Opus to, well, make sure that you can fix the timing issue between when you pick up the microphone, transfer the microphone input into text, and the guessing count for the game. And it took literally 2 or 3 prompts with Claude 4.5 Opus to get here. Check it out.
1675345. Okay, I thought I had that. Let's try it again. Zero through 5, 6, 5, 4, 6, 1. 0 through 5. That's what it picked up. Okay. Zero 7 5 6 9 3 5 2.
As you see in that video, Claude 4.5 Opus was really good. It only took 3 tries to get pretty much the same as Gemini 3, and the games are pretty similar. Also, if you want me to make this a real game and make it available to everybody, let me know in the comment section down below by commenting the word game, as well as you can click the link in the description to join the waitlist. And depending on how many people comment the word game and join the waitlist, I'll actually make this game available to everybody to play for free for a limited time, of course. But ranking Gemini 3 versus Claude 4.5 Opus when it comes to say the name on beat, the official game, I give a Gemini, I give it like a 7.5. Gemini 3 really was handy. I didn't have to do much coding at all. I was able to look at what was going on and understand it, but it did give me a lot of hiccups. I had to prompt this a lot more than I did with Claude 4.5 Opus. Now leading to Claude 4.5 Opus, I'll give this also a 7.5. And I know you're like, what? You're tying them together? Why would you give them the same score? Claude 4.5 Opus only had 3 prompts. You said it out your mouth. But I think it's not fair because, well, Claude 4.5 had the benefit of having Gemini 3 go through the whole process and its spark notes on how to create this game and gave it right to Claude 4.5 Opus, which basically was a cheat code for, well, Claude 4.5. And I had to take that into account. Where Gemini 3 was basically from scratch with ideas, I added the countdown timer later on, and they already knew about the timing issue with Gemini 3. So I had to take that into account to say that they're both pretty good AI models. If you want to see me make more games, you should definitely comment down below. Do you want to recreate like a Mario Kart, maybe Fortnite, maybe even Call of Duty with AI and see how it does? I love to take your suggestions and see what I can do as far as the game. Also, don't forget to hype up this video so we can run it up and make more games together with AI. That being said, your boy Dex Not Dexter out.